So good evening, everyone. My name is Anamika. I'm from IMT Care. And we have with us is Arya Prasad. She's a clinical and counseling psychologist, MA, and art-based therapist. With her experience and qualification, she brings a unique blend of expertise to help you de-stress and rejuvenate through the power of art. And I'm hoping it'll be a very, very engaging session. So over to you, Arya.
Okay. Anamika has kindly introduced me. I'm a counseling psychologist, so I also work as a therapist. And I work with arts as well. So art like a modality is really interesting because it appeals to everyone across all ages, right? So some part of my work is talking, some part of my work is also engaging with art. I work in this organization called Dear Oliver Therapy Services, which offers psychotherapy to people online. So we've got clients all over the world, and yeah, it's a very dynamic team, and I'm a part of it. What I'm going to be doing today, along with IMT Care, is having a workshop based on how do you use art to reduce stress. Now, I'm very aware of the fact that we're all very busy people here, and the fact that so many of us came on a Friday for this is also really encouraging for me. We have a lot of stressors because I know you guys are adults here. So you might have families, you might have work expectations, there might be financial concerns going on. So there are a lot of stressors happening, and I'm very aware of that. Now, the thing is, how can we use creative methods to reduce our stressors, or at least to feel calmer and feel better in our day-to-day life? Now, I want you all to understand one thing. I know we're very busy, which is why I've kept the activities really short, really simple, and not too complex. Because I know that complex things we can do maybe once a while, but we need something that we can rely on every single day. Considering all of that, what I'm going to start off with is a few guidelines. This is how I'd like the group to proceed. Okay. First is respect. I'm going to be asking you guys respect because I will ask you about your opinions. And I want us to respect ourselves and others. If we have different opinions, that's completely fine. Focus. Now, when we're doing art, our usual thought is, does this look good? Does this look pretty? Can I show it to other people? But right now, art is not about showing it to other people or even seeing it yourself. Art is about how you feel about it. When I'm doing an activity, how do I feel in it? Am I feeling calm? Am I feeling tense? As I'm doing art, do I have a lot of expectations from myself? Am I feeling body aches or pains as I'm doing art? Am I thinking in the back of my mind, yeah, I'm doing art, but I have a deadline at 7 o'clock today? What's happening when you're doing art? That is more important than looking at how nice or aesthetic or pretty this is. The third thing I'd like is to introspect. Introspect essentially is, I'm going to ask you guys a few questions after each activity. So we're going to have 3 or 4 activities. And after each activity, I'll ask you a few questions. Simple questions. It's about your experience. I want you to think about what I asked and reply on the chat box. The reason I ask you to introspect is because this is an art therapy activity. It is not an art activity alone. Art for mental health will mean that we're improving the way we feel about ourselves, the way we think about ourselves, the way we think about the world around us, right? So thoda reflection, a bit of introspection will be involved here. Participate. I can't see you guys, your faces today, but I want to hear you guys participate through the chat box. Please write down your thoughts. There's nothing like right or wrong, good or bad. Just write, be honest and be kind in what you're writing and tell me what you feel about the activity. Take breaks. What happens when you're working with art as a medium for stress, right? Is that sometimes we don't know if we feel upset while making art. Sometimes we feel angry. Sometimes we feel that emotions are coming up for us. At that time, the best thing you can do for yourself, if you want, is to pause, just step away for a bit, maybe just wash your face, drink some water and come back, right? There's nothing like, if I've begun this activity, I have to completely finish it. I have to do it till it looks good. No, this is a process-based thing. So let's treat it as such. Can I get a thumbs up if you guys are okay with the 5 ground rules for this session? So I can move on. Okay, I'm getting a few thumbs up. Let's move on. Now, let's set some context, right? We're talking about creativity. What exactly is creative? What do you mean by creativity? Can you guys answer in the chat box if you're okay? Tell me in your words, okay? There is no definition. You can give me Hindi word for creativity, new thoughts, thinking different. Amazing, guys. I'm seeing your answers already. Something new, something to contribute. Absolutely. Doing something that is unique. Absolutely. Creativity is essentially your ability to generate new ideas, your ability to have alternatives, right? For example, if you're a parent and if you have a kid who's not eating a food from a red bowl, and it's like, I don't want to eat food from a red bowl. If you're a parent, what you do is you take that bowl, you take the food, you put it in a blue bowl, and you give it to the kid. The kid will have food from the blue bowl because he likes the blue bowl, right? Now, creativity is so basic. That is creativity. We're thinking out of the box. It's abstract. It's free. It's more subjective. Jugaad. I love that word, jugaad. Creativity is jugaad. Our ability to make solutions when we can't see any solutions. That exactly is creativity. Now, what do you guys think? Is everybody creative or no? The question is, do you think everyone is creative? Yes or no? Perfect. I'm saying all yeses here. At least up till now. Yes, everybody is creative. All human beings have creativity to some extent. I'll tell you why I asked this question. Because when we're doing art therapy or any art-based activities, right? The question is, but I don't, I'm not very creative. I can't draw well. I'm not very creative. I can't make anything out of clay, right? The question isn't, do you do art well or not? Do you do drawing well or not? I'm not asking how good you are at doing it. That is not a factor here. You can work through art regardless of how good you are in it. I am not amazing in art, right? I don't draw like, I don't know, Van Gogh. I don't draw like him. I have my own style of doing things, and that's completely okay. You don't need to be good in art. So let's not have the notion that I have to be good at this to be able to do it. This is expressive art. We can do it the way we want to. Now, my second question is, what do you think is stress? We're here to relieve our stress. So what is stress for us? In simple terms, we use stress so commonly in our lives, right? So what is, yeah, stress is tension, absolutely. Overthinking, absolutely. Pressure, mental pressure. Force. Okay, I got a science definition. Thank you. I haven't heard that in a very long while. Workload, absolutely. Now, stress, now if you put it to its bare minimum, thinking about problems, absolutely. I love the conversations we're having. Stress is when our problem in front of us is bigger than our ability to solve it. Okay, when our problem in front of us is bigger than our ability to solve it. I'll give you a simple example. Finishing a report in 2 months is okay. It's not stressful. How we'll do it? If I tell you, you have to finish a report before you clock out of work on a Friday, and I give you the report right now, that is stress. The task is the same. You have to finish the report, but the circumstances change. In one area, we feel that we can manage it. In another area, we're like, oh my God, can I manage it? That is stress, right? So we have so many areas of stress. We've got families, we've got work, we've got finances, we've got friends. We might stress about what's going to happen to our future. So we have multiple areas of stress. So essentially, if our challenge is bigger than our capacity, then we know that we are stressed. How do you identify if you're stressed? Simply, there are multiple signs of it, right? Some signs of it can be physical, like we feel bodily too tired. We're feeling aches and pains in our body. Some signs are mental signs. Overthinking, we're feeling very worried. We can't concentrate, we can't focus. Some signs are through our behaviors, right? If I'm stressed, I might be biting my nails. If I'm stressed, I am not talking to anybody. If I'm stressed, I'm overeating. So we have multiple signs of stress. Now, how do you guys relieve stress? What do you guys do to manage stress? Give me one word, two words, whatever comes to you. Movie, shopping, biking, Netflix, taking breaks, walking, listening to songs, sports, videos. See, we're very creative already. We know of so many ways in which we can relieve stress. We might go out for a walk in nature, we might talk to our friends, we can go have some food that we like. And when we do that, our stress reduces, right? Heavy workout, visiting temples, going to listen to music, absolutely. Some people run away from problems, absolutely, right? Deep breathing. We know a lot of ways. Now let's come to the third concept, which is art. What is art? Simple question, what do you think is art? Art is painting, way of working, drawing, expressions, absolutely. What makes you happy? Singing, it's a skill, absolutely. Creativity, reducing efforts, absolutely. Right? Expressing your feelings. Art is a product of our creativity. Okay? If we have ideas, we have emotions, we have thoughts, and we express it through some physical form, it's art. If I'm really angry and if I paint, the painting is a product of my thoughts. If I'm really upset and I sing, the singing is my creativity. It's how I'm expressing myself to the world around me. That's art. Right? Now, why does art help with stress? Why have we mixed art and stress today? Can someone tell me why? Like, there must be a reason, right? Why art? People say, yeah, go paint, you might feel better. It engages the mind. Absolutely. I've got such a dynamic audience today. I'm loving it. Distraction, it helps us shift our focus, reduce anxiety. You guys are saying everything. I barely have anything to add today. It helps us express. Perfect. It helps us express. It helps us be in the moment. Like when we're drawing and painting, we're focusing on the brush, we're focusing on the palette, we're focusing on the colors. Our mind is not everywhere. It helps us engage our senses. Sometimes when we're doing pottery, when we're using clay, our hands are in it. We can almost smell the paint. We can smell the clay. Our entire mind is towards it. It makes us feel better. When we're doing art, right, it releases this thing called dopamine in our brains, in our body. And we feel much better after doing art, right? It helps us connect with ourselves, with other people, all of that, right? So art is a very dynamic way in order to relieve stress. Okay, so I'm getting a few thumbs up, so I'm assuming that everyone's on page with me, and that's amazing. I'm loving your thoughts. I'm reading all of them in the chat box, even if I can't address them right now. I'm going to move on because we have tons of activity that I want us to engage in. Okay. Before we move in, I want to do a quick energy check. Okay. Yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them are there. What is your energy? Like my energy right now is a solid 4 because you guys seem energetic. 5, 2, 3, I'm seeing 4. Anyone at a 0, be okay. It's honesty. This space is okay. If you're low energy, that's completely fine. 1, thank you for your honesty. I'm seeing 3s. So 3, 4 may have most of us, and I understand why. It's the end of the week, it's the evening, so I get that completely. Great. Now, art can do 2 things. It can do multiple things, but right now, it can either increase your energy if you want, or it can help you become calmer if you feel you're too energetic and you want to lower that. So go ahead the way you want it to, okay? No rules about what should I do, what's the right thing. I'll give you a prompt and you go ahead with it. Okay. Let's move to our first activity. It's called the container activity. Okay. Now, container activity is a quick activity that I'll tell you how to go about. I won't tell you why we're doing this activity right now. वो बाद में करेंगे. First, I want you to engage in this activity, feel it, and then let's move on. We know a container is a vessel, right? Like a tiffin box is a container. A jar is a container. What else? A jug is a container. Okay. So here I have a picture of a jar. Now I want you to do 2 things. I hope you guys have your pens and papers in front of you. take your pen, take your paper. Again, doesn't matter what color, what object you have in front of you, that's completely fine. Take your pen and paper and make a big container. My page is this much, so the container must be almost as big as the page because we have to do something here, and I'll tell you what. So make a big container like this, but don't put the lid. Ye khali hona chahiye. This should be empty over here. Don't put the lid. Make a big container, and once you are done with it, type done in the chat box. Again, this does not have to be pretty. Okay, don't worry about it being aesthetic. Just draw it roughly. That's completely fine. This is for you. Done already. Haven't finished instructions. I'm loving the energy. Okay. I'm going to give you guys like 7 more seconds in case you're not done. Okay. Lovely. Done. Now, I want you guys to sit for 2 seconds and think about everything that is distracting you, everything that is upsetting you, everything that is stressing you out. And I want you guys either to write it down in like maybe a point format, in a line, draw it out here. If I'm feeling worried about, I have a dinner I have to go to and I have to go home and cook right now, and I'm stressing about that, I will write cooking here. If I had a fight with a loved one, then I'm going to write or draw fighting here, whatever you want. Again, doesn't have to be pretty. This is for your understanding. So even if you make stick figures for yourself, that's completely fine. Okay? I hope the instructions are clear. Please begin. You're going to have around 5 minutes, but I'll give you like maybe 2-3 minutes in the beginning at least. So I'm going to give you around 2 minutes, 3 minutes to write. If you have any questions, just type it in the chat box so I can answer it for you. But please begin the activity. Write all your concerns in that container that is open right now. Okay, I'm going to repeat the instructions very quickly and softly because I understand everybody else is writing. I'm drinking some water. This is my water mug. So I'm drinking some water. I want you to draw a container. Don't try to be perfect about it. That's okay. Just draw however you can and write down or draw your stressors here. If you're worried about anything, if you're distracted by something, whatever you want, just write or draw it here. Around 40 more seconds to go. Stressors can be of any type. Anything that you feel will distract you right now, might worry you right now. Once you're done, just type done now. There are no rules about this. Don't feel worried about what's right or what's wrong. If you can interpret it the way you want. Okay, let's take 5 to 7 seconds to wind up. Once you're done, I want you to put your pen down for a second. Great. Now, I want you guys to take a look at everything that you've written, everything that's been on your mind. And I want you guys to see if you can ask these worries to just stay on paper for the next 40-45 minutes. The reason is we're going to be starting art, which is a way to take care of yourself, which is a way to show care, love, trust with yourself, right? So we're going to see if these stressors can be out of our minds and on the paper for the next 40 minutes. Give yourself reassurance that we're not running away, we're not abandoning our stressors, right? We're just moving it from our minds to our paper so that we can keep it safely and it won't disturb us. If stressors are on our mind, they disturb us a lot. They come in between our work, right? Once you're done, I want you guys to draw some sort of lid over here, right? To just close the jar and close it completely and just fix it over there, just for your understanding that your concerns are out of your mind in the paper and they're closed and safe. Nobody wants to touch them right now for a bit. Once you're done, give me a just write done on the chat. If you have any questions, let me know. That's completely fine. Take a few seconds. Rakesh, I'm going to answer your question in a bit. Okay. Now, I'm going to move ahead and ask you your debrief questions. So debrief, after an activity, we do a quick debrief where we understand how this activity went. I want to ask you guys how that experience was for you, and did you learn anything about yourself that you would like to share? Right? You can choose not to answer if it was too personal. That's completely okay. We understand that some things might come up that you're not comfortable sharing, right? How was that experience for you? And did you learn anything about yourself through that experience? You could start typing in the chat box. For the first time, I wrote my stress, right? We don't really realize when we're feeling stress. Absolutely. Clear mind, could articulate, could look within to acknowledge stress. That's so powerful. Absolutely. Any more? Relieved of loading stress from one's shoulder. We just need to put cover on it. Yeah, we need to put a mental cover on it as well, right? Absolutely. Now, the reason I asked you this, because I know that you guys are very busy people, right? And sometimes this work-life balance, the concept, sometimes our work comes into life, sometimes our life comes into work, right? Now, what happens is, because of that, we barely get time for ourselves. And when we get time for ourselves, there's 100 things cluttered in our mind, because obviously, like, so many things are happening. This is our way, our personal way to figure out if we can keep our problems aside for some time, if we can separate the outside world from our me time, right? We tell ourselves that, we'll wait for a time when stress goes to give ourselves our me time. I'll do my me time after my project ends. I'll do me time after this crisis gets over. But is that really true? Do stressors really go away? They don't, right? We need to just figure out some way for our me time. 10 minutes to me time, then 10 minutes, we'll take that, right? So this small activity called the container activity is a simple way to make sure that when you're beginning your me time, you're doing it with a calm mind. Now, does it work? That was one of the questions. This works if you like it, if you are consistently doing it. If this activity makes you feel even more anxious, then it might not work for you, and that's okay. Some activities might work for you, some activities might not work for you, and you can only understand through trial and error. So try all activities and then see if it works for you. Let's move ahead Okay, this is a very quick, fun activity to release our creative juices. When was the last time you doodled? Maybe in school, college, when you had your notebooks, maybe during some meeting, right? When our minds are so free to wander, right? That's what minds do, right? Doodling is a very quick way for ourselves. 10 minutes ago in meetings, see, I knew it. Doodling is a pretty good thing to do, right? Sometimes we're getting very fidgety. We need something. Um, we'll get to the debrief later. Let's begin with this. I want you guys to take 2 to 3 minutes and just doodle whatever you want. Some example is on the screen, but don't look at example. Yeah, you've doodled enough, you got a pen, it's okay. You can doodle something from your memory, something you can see. You can doodle your name. You can doodle a quote, whatever comes to your mind, you can doodle that. No judgments, okay? Just your job is to doodle as much as you can. If you've got a page in front of you, try to fill up that page within 2 to 3 minutes without any judgments. No, like, मैंने doodle में cat banaya and the cat has a weird ear. No one cares, it's fine. This is just for you, right? So your time starts now. I'm going to give you a reminder in 2 minutes or so. If you're thorough with the question, if you're thorough with what I've asked you to do, please go ahead. Let's start doodling. I'm HP1. I don't know your name, but doodle more, yaar. Come on. Doodle more. Take your time. As far as I can, doodle only when I ask you to stop. Stop doodling only when I ask you to stop. Okay, let's wind up in around the next 10 to 15 seconds. Once you're done, just write done on the chat box. Okay. किसी को तो बस हो गया. I'm so sorry. We're not used to doing this, right? Absolutely. Okay. Now, this exercise, is there anything you want to tell me about how this experience was for you, how doodling felt like for you? not used to doodling, do this with unconscious mind, feeling joy, feeling blankness that happens when you start doodling. Absolutely. Took me to my childhood, forgot worries. Absolutely. Feeling fun. I'm so glad. Okay. This simple activity was a quick way to start our creative juices because we don't do it as much, right? We don't do it as much because nobody has the time for it, right? We don't intentionally carve out time, most likely. Now, let's get into another activity. Thank you so much for your responses. I'm reading all of them. Now your task is a simple thing called see and sketch. Right? I'm sure you must have heard of all these people who go for vacations and they carry their sketchbook with them and they draw. They sit on a park bench and draw. I think you've heard of that because I have. I would have a lot of friends who do that. Sometimes I try to do it too. Um, Today, what we're going to do is we're going to see whatever we can around us and we're going to sketch it out. Okay. If I'm sitting in front of a window and in the window, from the window, I can see trees, I can see other buildings, I can see the sky. That's what I'm going to draw. This on the screen, you will see the view of an office or a room with chairs in it. Somebody has sketched that out. कोई यहाँ बैठा रहेगा, right? Somebody would have sat here, looked at all the chairs and all that, they would have drawn it out. I want you to do the same thing with whatever you see around you. If you see a board in front of you, you draw a board. If you see a cupboard in front of you, you draw a cupboard. If you see your colleagues sitting in front of you, you draw them, right? Take a pen, take a piece of paper, pen, pencil, crayon, whatever you want, take a piece of paper and start drawing. Are my instructions clear? Sorry, I had to add one more thing. Now the point is, it doesn't have to look the exact same way as it is, right? If the cupboard is blue, you don't have blue color, that's fine. That's not an issue right now. If if the cupboard is big and you're drawing a tiny cupboard, that's also fine. You just have to draw what you see it, the way you see it. No judgments, no expectations for the art to be good or the art to even look like art. Just draw whatever you feel. Be in the moment when you're drawing. And if you have some time in the end, you can also color it. Okay. Are my instructions clear? Can you just give me a yes or something of that sort in the chat box so I know? Great. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to give you around 7 minutes for this. So take your time, right? This activity is not to be rushed. Yes, ma'am. No, please call me Arya. Let's begin drawing. Thank you. As I'm seeing so many emojis come up, less emojis, more drawing, please. Thank you so much. You've got around 2 minutes more. If you're done drawing, start doodling within the art that you've drawn. If you've got colors, you can always start coloring within the lines. You know how we used to color in our coloring books when we were kids? Now, this is your coloring book, and you can doodle or color the way you want to. If you don't have any materials, just use your pen. That's completely fine. Absolutely. If you have only rule pages with you, that's completely fine. You can draw on a tissue paper for all, if you have tissue paper. That's completely fine. Don't worry about the pages you have. Just draw with whatever you have. Rakesh, after drawing, I don't know how you will be able to show to me. If you can upload it in the chat, if that's available for you, you can do that. But right now, I won't be able to see it. You can send it to me later on. That's completely fine if you're okay. Okay, I have around 10 more seconds. We have another activity. We do have another activity after this. Okay. If you guys can take another 10 seconds to wind up, and once you're done winding up, just send me a done. If you've not completed, that's completely fine. You can finish it off later. That's completely fine with us. Okay, most of us have completed the activity. Okay, let's get into debrief. The same questions. How was that experience for you? Would you like to share anything that you learned about yourself? We laugh so much by drawing each other's sketch. We are attending together as a team. Shout out to all of you guys. This is a lovely team building activity. I wish I could see all of your sketches. Can draw something at least? Yes, absolutely. Of course, you can draw. School life. You realize that you like sketching. I'm so glad. Sketching is an amazing tool. Just now came to know you're a good painter. See, we all have talents within us. How do we not know this? Of course, we should. When was the last time you guys observed your environment in such great detail? Matlab, if you would have seen maybe a desk, the color of the desk, the pattern that's on the desk, what was the last time you saw your life, your world around you in so much detail? No improvement from childhood till now in drawing. There is no improvement required in drawing. I'm not saying I'm going to give you a grade. You're not going to get A plus if you draw well from me. This is just for you. This is just for all of your stress relief. This gets lost in today's world. You haven't touched the pen for so many years, so don't know how to hold it now. Don't remember the last time you saw the world in such great detail. We don't see the world around us in great detail. We're so busy, we're so caught up in everyday life that we don't even know how our office really looks like. Because I'll tell you, if you look at your office very closely, very, very closely, you will realize that there is something that you've never seen before. Maybe there is a nail that's been hammered into some corner. Maybe there is a fan in some corner that you've really not seen, right? You do human sketch after 35 years. See, that's a very long time when we haven't connected to art, right? Now, this activity is something that's very, very simple. It's a psychology concept. It's a mental health concept. It's called grounding. Now, grounding is a very simple thing. Grounding is basically coming back to the present. It is feeling the present moment. When we're too stressed, we're either worried about the future or we're thinking about the past, right? We're either worried about the deadline that's coming up now, or we're either thinking about the fight we had maybe yesterday or day before. In grounding, we're coming back to what's happening right now. We're coming back to the present. This is super important in stress. The way you ground yourself really helps you reduce your stress. When we think of stress relief, we think that it should solve our problems, but that's actually not true. Stress relief helps us reduce our stress so we can solve our problems. Stress relief helps us calm our brains down, calm our nervous system, our minds down, so that we can focus on the task at hand and do it well. So this is what the premise, this is what the agenda behind this activity is. It's called grounding and it helps you come back to your present. Have you all understood the intent behind this activity? It's super important because you guys are doing it really well, absolutely, but you need to know why we're doing it. If you've understood it, if we can move ahead, just give me a yes. Yeah, we'll move ahead. We'll move ahead soon. Okay. Great. Okay. Now we're going to do something called as color breathing, right? Color breathing is something called as meditation. It's like a type of meditation. What do you guys think meditation is? Mental peace, inhale, exhale. Mind without agitation is meditation. Okay. Meditation calms, finding ourselves. Absolutely. We have multiple things for meditation. Now, the thing is, for a lot of us, and I've spoken to so many people about this, how many of us think that we can meditate? What do you guys think? Can you meditate or not? Yes, I can't. Okay, tried. Because when I say meditation, everybody looks at me and says that we will need to sit in Padmasana and say Om. So many people have told me that. And I'm going to give you guys another way to meditate, right? It's not very traditional. It's not very by the book, but this is a good way to be present with ourselves and our bodies, which is essentially what meditation is. Being one with what we want to do, right? So many differences, so many understandings, right? But what we're going to do now is something called as a color meditation. It's a very fun way to meditate. I want you to pick up different colors of pens, pencils, whatever. If you have colors with you, great. If you have crayons with you, great. If you have nothing, if you have a simple black pen, that is also okay, right? What we're going to do now is something called as color breathing. This is the page I have. I'm going to take a brighter colored pen so that we can all see. This is the page I have. Okay. Color breathing would mean I've kept my pen here. I'm going to breathe in As I breathe out, I will just move the pen along with my breath. Okay? Breathe in, move the pen as you breathe out, and you finished your exhalation. Okay? Again, breathe in, breathe out. As you breathe out, you would have finished the exhalation. Okay? Now, I want you guys to do this on the piece of paper you have. Okay? And after you're done with it, after you've done enough deep breaths and after you feel it's okay, I want you to start coloring or doodling in each of these areas. So color here, color however you want, right? But the biggest and the most important part is doing the breaths. Do at least 7 to 10 breaths minimum. And then if you have enough time, you can color. Can you give me a done or like a thumbs up if you've understood the yeah, great. Done, deep, absolutely. Just take deep breaths and move your pen along. So allow your breath to dictate the lines. Great. I'm going to give you guys around 2 minutes or 3 minutes to do it. When you're done, just let me know. Just take your time. Don't be in a rush. I'm going to mute myself, and when the time is up, I will let you know. Let's take around 15 to 20 seconds to wind up. Once we're done winding up, just give me a done in the chat box. All right, let's come back. I have a few questions, like always, like we do in our debrief. I want you guys to tell me how that experience was for you, and if you would like to share anything about that experience. Deep breathing always helps, absolutely. For some people, deep breathing is so abstract, right? They need something physical to do when you're deep breathing. This is a really good thing because it engages your hands. Because sometimes when you're deep breathing, you feel really fidgety. When we feel fidgety, we just take a color with us, a crayon with us, and we just doodle along with it. You do a river now filling water in it. All right. Now we do one thing, right? We're starting off here. We want to get there. So we control our breath and get here to get the perfect lines that we want. we got to do the other thing. We have to move our breath, move the pen along with our breath. We don't have to move the breath along with our pen. But in any case, if it helps, it helps. A bit of pain and numbness in brain while breathing. You have to pace yourself. There is no hard and fast rule. If you can't sustain your breath for so long, if you feel breathless, slow down, right? You can pace these activities at your own pace. And you can do whatever you feel fit. That's completely fine. Don't push yourself if you're not feeling comfortable. Okay. Would anyone like to share anything else before? So this was our last activity, and I want to wind up right now because I understand that you have commitments after this. All right. So now the thing is, this people ask me, why do you do simple activities? You might have found these activities very simple, and that's completely fine because these activities are simple. The reason we do simple activities when we're beginning with art is we're essentially, first of all, we're starting off small. If I give you a very complex activity, you'll be like, Arya, what are you doing? Can you stop? We can't understand this. And before you even start, you will freak out and, oh my God. Yes, please share your experience on LinkedIn. I'll come to there. Just let me debrief you guys for a second. What happens when we're doing smaller activities is that we start small. We give our brains easier things to focus on. We give our brains easier things to relax, because I know it's been a long time since you guys drew, since you picked up a pen, right? I want to do more activities, but this is all the time we have for today. But understand a few things, right? Before you go, you don't need very fancy materials. You don't need to spend like 3-4 hours doing art. 10-15 minutes a day for art for your stress, amazing. You don't need to be a master in art. You can be a beginner, you can still use art, right? It will help you bring back to the present. You don't have to use art. You can't use art to solve your problem always, right? But art will help you calm yourself down, reduce stress, so you can think better about the problem, and that's the essence of it. This is my LinkedIn and my email ID is right here. If you guys want, I can just put it in the chat box if that's helpful for you. Let me just stop sharing. Give me a second, please. I do not share my Insta ID. But I can. Have you gotten my LinkedIn ID on the chat? I've just put it over there. Can you let me know if you see it? Oh, no, you can't. Okay. How do I enable chat then? Okay, then what I'll do is I'll just put my screen again and you guys can take a photo of it if you want to share your
Chat is
experience.
enabled, no, for you, Arya. I'll
It
just
is enabled. Okay, how about you just take a photo of this if that's better for you? It is enabled for me, but I can't seem to paste it.
Okay.
Or can you put my details?
You are unable to type anything?
I've sent it, but I think it went to hosts and panelists.
Okay, okay. Wait, I'll just uh
Gautam saying thank you for the simple, effective session. Please do start sketching from now on to relax. I'm just seeing your texts or your chats.
now try, Arya.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Yeah, okay, I can see everybody. Thank you so much, Anamika. 1 second, let me just put it. I've put my details over here.
एक से light on करो.
Yeah. I think you would
Let
have
this
got it
session
there.
close.
If you put Arya Prasad on LinkedIn, you'll find my name right there. It says counseling psychologist. There are like emojis of suns and all of that over there. So yeah, if you guys have no questions, I hope you have a good day and I hope you have a good weekend. Thank you for being a very participative audience. Can you show your fidget cube? I think somebody already saw me on LinkedIn, but no, never mind. My fidget cube is this. I talk about my fidget cube on LinkedIn because this is very helpful for me. If you have any questions, please stay back. I would love to answer them for you if I can, as much as I can. Again, I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope it's very restful for you guys. All right.
Thank you, Arya, and I hope everyone enjoyed the session. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I think everyone really enjoyed the session. Yeah, I'm looking at a lot of hearts and claps for you. So
I'm so
I'm
glad.
guessing that's a yes. So yes, guys, if you have any questions, you can connect with Arya. You can give us your feedbacks or on the feedback form you'll receive. And if you
Yeah.
guys want, we'll connect Arya with you guys again.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, I truly enjoyed the session a lot myself because after all this time sketching and everything, it was like really amazing.
I'm
So it
so
was
glad.
really fun. Thank you so much for taking us back to our childhood. Yeah.
No worries. I'm so glad we had this conversation. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. We'll end the session now. We'll
All
see
right.
you guys again soon. Thank you so much, Arya. Bye bye. Have
Thank
a
you.
great weekend.
Bye. You too.